Some say that sports in general are considered risky, since they require athletes to push their own limits to reach new levels of physical ability. But sometimes, the push can be too extreme and become downright dangerous. In order to explore that specific push, in this video, we'll talk about some of the most dangerous sports in the world. Let's get started. First up, we have street luge. We're not really sure why anyone would choose this out of all the competitive sports to try, but hey, stranger things have happened. Street luging is a gravity-powered extreme sport that's mostly popular with skateboarders. Participants literally ride on a street luge board down the pavement. It combines skateboarding, sledding, and pure bravery to form this dangerous but rather thrilling sport. Between 2008 and 2011, 25 deaths were recorded from this sport, and while the injuries can be severe, safety precautions like leather outfits and helmets help minimize the damage. Next up, we have cheerleading. If you thought cheerleading was all fun and games, with cute outfits and fun chants, you couldn't be farther from the truth. While the athletes have cute outfits with preppy chants, they're also being tossed 30 feet in the air to perform some incredible acrobatic moves. But if their teammate misses the catch, which has to be precisely timed, there's absolutely nothing to protect them from breaking a limb or several limbs. Not so fun fact, you might be surprised to find out that cheerleading actually causes more head injuries than American high school football. Now, we have skiing. While there are plenty of ways to die at a seemingly wonderful ski vacation, like hitting a tree head-on, getting caught in a surprise avalanche, or hitting the ground while you're skiing down a hill, these are actually the most mundane ways that might actually get you killed. Most deaths from ski accidents tend to occur on well-maintained, easier ski tracks. A seemingly menial ski run can cause a horrible accident before you know it. It could be as simple as letting your guard down for a second or two, and before you know it, accident has already happened. So no thanks. We'll pass on the Swiss Alps vacation from now. Moving on to scuba diving. Don't let the movies fool you, okay? Yes, scuba diving can be a beautiful experience, but are you really willing to take a risk with all those possible consequences that come attached to it? Other than the obvious one, drowning, scuba diving can kill you in many other ruthless ways. For example, you could surface up too quickly or not in time. Your tank could have a bad mix of gas and you wouldn't be able to breathe. You could bump your head on a massive rock too. And let's not forget the worst of all, which are sharks. So do you really want to be eaten by a shark? Yeah, we don't think so. Let's take a look at bull riding. While we're not sure why anyone would volunteer to sit atop a really pissed off bull and call it a sport, but it is what it is. We think this one kind of explains itself in terms of just how dangerous this is. Sure, safety precautions have gotten stricter in the last couple of years, like wearing bulletproof vests to protect the participants from getting any major injuries, but the sport continues to be at risk since the helmet is still optional. Following up with bullfighting. Since we're on the subject of angry bulls, let's not forget bullfighting. While the sport traces its origins all the way back to 711 AD, it still occurs in a number of countries around the world for reasons we can't comprehend. People think it's a fantastic idea to stab a 2,000-pound angry bull with sharp horns. Each year, there are over a dozen injuries as a result of professional bullfighting, and we're really not surprised with this one. This number could actually be much higher since there are many incidents that go unreported all year round. Not to mention, with the addition of a sharp weapon, this becomes inherently more dangerous than bull riding. Up next, we have polo. Watching from the sidelines as men whoosh by atop horses may feel exciting as a spectator, but polo is considered as one of the most high-risk sports to ever exist. When you really think about it, a person is precariously balancing themselves on a saddled horse, while the balls travel at high speeds about 6 feet below them. Let's not forget the heavy mallets being swung around their heads as the horses race against each other. The sport has been known to claim a few deaths each year, and falling from a horse running at top speed can't be good for injuries either. Let's talk about rugby. Large, muscular men slamming into each other for sport. What could possibly go wrong? While we're at it, let's just add in some spiked shoes as well. Does anything out of that sound safe to you? Not to us. It doesn't. That's probably why rugby is commonly known as one of the toughest sports out there. The danger levels are absolutely risky, and despite all of that, the popularity of the sport just keeps increasing. Each year, thousands of people choose to watch a game where injuries are just waiting to happen. Now let's take a look at Jai-alai. If you're not familiar with this one, here's a quick overview. Jai-alai involves bouncing a hard rubber ball off a walled-in space, making it reach some quite high speeds using a large curved wicker basket. Now imagine that hard rubber ball's traveling up to a speed of 200 miles an hour. Yep, one miss, and that stuff could come straight for the player's face, which would most likely mean instant death. Sounds terrifying to us. Now we have buzkashi. Buzkashi, a traditional sport from Central Asia, translates to goat pulling and is played on a yak or horseback. There are rumors that it may have originated in the Afghan region when a tribe tried to steal a rival's goat, but whatever the origins are, we doubt anything called goat pulling would be a safe sport to compete in. It's played in an open field and the goal is deceptively simple. Players need to find a way to control the rather unconventional ball, which is usually a goat's or a cow's head, and toss it for a goal. Other than being dangerous, is honestly just very, very disturbing. Moving on to skydiving. Imagine jumping from the sky for the adrenaline rush, but then your parachute fails to deploy at the last minute. What do? You obviously panic, but then remember that there's a reserve parachute and you could just as easily deploy that. But wait, what if that fails too? Trust us, it's happened before. You really can't do anything but pray for the best in the scenario. In 2020, about 11 fatal skydiving accidents were reported, which means that there were 0.39 fatalities for every 100,000 jumps, so the odds may not be in your favor. Following up with big wave surfing. Jumping from the air isn't safe, but neither is the water apparently. Big wave surfing has competitors paddling into the water to climb waves as high as 20 feet. Falling into the water from a sea level sounds harmless enough, but traveling at a high speed to massive heights can cause some serious injuries. To make matters worse, they don't just hit the water, they could very well be hitting the reef below, and that just sounds awful for all the bones in our bodies. Let's talk about car racing. One would think that with car technology improving each year, the drivers in races would keep getting safer, but in reality, that's just not the case. With aspects like unpredictable weather and driving errors, car racing is still considered one of the most dangerous competitive sports in the world. While drivers wear fire retardant suits for protection, they may not always prove to be helpful in all accidents. Excessive blood loss, shattered bones, and head trauma include just some of the common injuries that drivers usually face. Now let's talk about boxing. It should come as no surprise that boxing makes this list, since it's a sport where the player's one goal is to punch so hard that their opponents get knocked out. Boxing injuries are more common than you think, and participants end up suffering from fractures, cuts, dislocated shoulders, and even concussions. Statistics have also revealed that a whopping 90% of boxers suffer from brain injuries during the course of their careers. Yikes. Last, wrapping up with mountaineering. You might not have expected mountaineering to make it to the top of our list, but each year there are thousands of people who suffer from severe injuries while climbing mountains. Slipping from rocks, falling, and getting stuck in crevices are all realities of the sport, and can be downright scary to face. Mountaineers are also prone to unpredictable weather. Think about it. What are you going to do if it goes from sunny to thunderstorm in 5 minutes and you're like halfway up a mountain? Even with all the ropes, hooks, and special equipment that's in use today, we'd still consider this one a downright dangerous sport to contend with. That's a wrap for this video. Do you have any thoughts about these dangerous sports? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.